Hello and welcome. My name is Nathan, and today we're going to have a look at Fresh Air. And Fresh Air is one of my tracks, which is currently on sale. Links will be in description. This is a mixture between choir and rock music, and I'm going to show you the mixing part of it. I'm going to show you the creation as well. Let's get straight into it. Now, before we do this, I'd like you to go and press the like button. I also would like, if you haven't done it already, go and subscribe and press the bell notification. Okay, so we're going to do this pattern by pattern first, so you can get a sense of what's going on. I know that says drums, but it's actually piano. So that is the basic chords and melody. It's a very simple thing. I'm using Expand 2, using the ambient piano like I usually do. And that goes on to channel 9. Channel 9, what we have here. Let's have a look at this. So the volume rate is under 80%, which is fine. 80 is probably my max. There's not too many songs where I have a channel or an instrument over 80%. It gives you that overhead room for EQing and stuff. So we have a fast LP for automation, multi-band compressor. Let's turn these off a second. Right, so that's it without any effects. And with effects. Much clearer, much brighter. We have an EQ. As you can see, it's kind of a sharp uphill, almost like a small cat ears in a way. Then underneath that, then I have the cutoff, which is also has a roll off the lower ends. This is usually my typical. I'd have a limiter at the end, giving me extra gain of what's that, 7 dB. Then I would have a cutoff, because it does actually matter what order you have your rack in. So cutoff first, and then your EQing on top, and then your compressors, and then your effects is usually what I go for. And then down here I have another EQing, which is very slight. I don't really see too much of a difference using this one versus using parametric EQ. Unless you really bring them up high, then there's a dramatic change. Over in the send one, we have reverb. There is about 50% going into channel 9. Okay, so moving on from that, I have the melody on its own. I have the chords on their own. I have piano stabs. It's just very simple. And what else do we have? Bass. Again, this is full bass, finger bass by Expand. This goes into channel 10. So without effects, with effects, a bit more boomier. A cutoff with a bit of a peak over, what's that? That's about 50 hertz. A little bit of reverb as well, about 20%, because I mostly go for a natural feel. For most of my mixing is trying to make it real and realistic, like a band on stage. So that's a second lead. Again, it's from Expand. It's gone into channel 9, which we looked at first. Okay, so let's have a look at the drums. Channel 15. This is coming from FPC, using the Rock Kit, which is this one here, Rock Elite, or no, HQ. Sorry, high quality Rock Kit. Let's have a look at its mixing. It's kind of cold here, so I'm kind of stuttery. Even though I have like 2 jumpers on, I'm still cold. So drums is at 80%, and let's do it without effects. There's reverb, let me turn that off. So that's it without anything. And with much fatter. So again, from the bottom we have limiter with a little bit of compression for the kick. We have an EQ with a little bit of a spike there at again 50 hertz. Then we have fast LP for automations. We have a Fruity stereo sharpener. I believe that's on Stereoizer 3 for whiteness. And then we have Waves HEQ stereo, which is amazing. It's an amazing plugin. And we have drum bass 2 preset. So without those, with it's more fatter, more wider. It's very nice. Again, it's very similar with different riffs. Channel 14. Again, it's the same channel, just different patterns. And that's actually quite interesting, that one. The toms, if you look at this knob here, this is the panning knob, so this is how you get like a really wide feel when you're doing your drum rolls. Alright, channel 11. Okay, so we have female Oz and males. This goes into a channel 11. Again, there's reverb at 50%. EQing, which is just a little bit extra gain. I like adding gain this way more than just bringing that level up. I just find it a bit more subtle. EQing, simple cutoff, and then a little bump over, what's that, 180 hertz. And a roll off down to the end. We also have EQing here for the highs. It's just, I found it handy enough to do. Moving on. And that's the choir in chords. We already had a look at their channel, so we can move on from here. We have a few different. That was the violin breaking its string. This is DSK Overtune. This is a 32-bit plugin. I'm using a 64-bit. So this is called Full Strings, and I'll show you this one. This is going to be interesting. Number 13. So let me disable everything first. And this is without effects. Okay, so I'm going to turn the reverb on, and then I'm going to put these on, but I'm going to turn these off real quick. So, starting from the bottom is a limiter. Then we have EQing. EQing is interesting. We're looking at about 200 hertz and about 16,000 on this side, with little peaks on either end. And then from that we have this. This one really changes the sound. This is JJP piano, no, strings and piano in stereo, which is probably one of the best plugins I've bought. The presets in this, it's mind blowing. Preset, I'm using high strings and strings. So let's have a listen to that. When it's off, when it's on. Then above that, then we just have a cutoff for automation. let's move on. I have a few different patterns for that instrument. Get a nice little melody. I don't want to spoil the whole track. You will be hearing the full track in a few minutes, but just for now, we're just going to go through the patterns. Again, this is ambient piano on channel 9. I don't know why, but every time I hear those probably 5 or 6 notes, I get goosebumps. Every single time. There's a lot of power and emotion going on in this pattern. It's very good. Again, there's more bass. Channel 33. Yeah, that was it for the patterns. Now let's have a look at the playlist. And if you've gotten this far, congratulations, you're doing well. Alright, so let's have a quick look down here. So I have recorded some lead guitar and different things. So let's have a look at this one. So this was power chords, and the way I recorded this was I plugged my guitar without a DI box. I plugged it straight into my 2i2 Scarlett, Fosrite Scarlett 2i2 second generation. Plugged into channel 2 with 50% gain, and it went into channel 19 using insert 2. And then I have like a G tune for tuning the guitar. I have a very simple 2020 cutoff and a limiter that wasn't actually on with reverb at 80% and Guitar Rig 5. The way I record is I like to have my effects on as I record, so I can feel and hear the sound of the effects as I record. Like normally I would record clean and then the effects later, but it doesn't have the same type of feeling when you're recording. I like to have the ambient effect. So there's that. So there's the power chords. It's very, very distorted. The one underneath that then is a lead guitar. Underneath this, now this one is a background lead guitar. I'm just going to turn my mic down. I think I'm clipping a bit. Okay, so I just turned my mic down a little bit. This is a background guitar, and what it does, you don't really hear it within the whole track. You do hear it in different spots of the track, but it's a very low ambience. It's more about a more subtle feel. The real lead guitar and stuff is this part and this part. See, you don't really hear it, but there's certain notes it does harmonize with. Alright, so underneath them then it's just a few little cut-offs for the rock and for it's like automation for volume wise. So let's have a look then at the whole song from the beginning. Just note, when it gets up to this build-up point, if you're using headphones, please turn down the volume. So yeah, that was the whole track. I'm gonna show you the bit of mixing now on the files. So the guitar stuff is recorded into these 4 tracks. Now let's mute one of these. So the power guitar is going into channel 2. Channel 2 has a limiter, cutoff, and a slight boost over at the 6,000 or 60,000 60k, and a cutoff. Reverb, of course, and everything else. There's actually twice the amount of reverb because it was recorded with reverb. The lead part, slightly different. So we have a limiter with a huge amount of compress and cutoff, and then very similar to the first one, a slight increase there on the 71,000k. And then we have a compressor, which I recently have. I'm not 100% sure how to describe what this is. It's the 2500 series compressor, and basically when I was doing this, I sort of made it up as I went along. I still have to do research on using this correctly, but thresholds is at 143 dB, attack is 143, ratio is 6:1. I haven't really found any difference changing this. Maybe it's my own lack of experience, but and release is 6:1, which I think is a preset for guitars. I think it's this one I used on electric guitars. And then from that we have a simple delay 2, and then we have a guitar solo series. So without this, actually without anything, so what does this do? This gives me a picture change. Let me see. So if you have a single string, it'll take the harmonic off that, and it does come on and off. There's automation on this knob. Okay, and then above that, then we have a wideness. So this is the only preset in this plugin. What I use is the Stereo Eisner 3. That's the only thing I like about it. Okay, so coming from that, then what do we have left? We have this channel, which is the background. We have Guitar Rig 5. Then we have a cutoff and a limiter. Also, please take a look at the links below where you can go and buy this track and do support. I am very grateful if you do it. Thank you for watching.